Good morning from bright, beautiful Fargo, North Dakota with bright white snow and a beautiful blue sky. Yes, North Dakota winters can be beautiful in many, many ways, and this is one of those days, although, quite frankly, I would prefer that it was green grass outside and I was going to the golf course. But that's probably not an unusual feeling for a lot of people right now. In this particular episode on faith, I'm going to talk about grace and grace and not performance. Ephesians 2, verses 8 and 9. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, not by works, so that no one can boast. Well, what am I talking about here? Well, I talk a lot. I mean, the basis for this particular movement is the idea that we all need a purpose that is truly our purpose, to have passion to achieve it, and to have gratitude with the people who are helping us along the way. Now, you don't earn purpose. You don't earn it at all. You receive it. Tom McGauley reaching down and pulling me off of uh, another person who, when I was in a fight, and then literally having his hand on my shoulder for many, many years, I received a lot of grace. And yeah, I was probably well suited for the sports that I participated in with him, which was both football and wrestling. But that's not what Tom really taught me. He taught me a whole lot about grace and not performance. And, you know, every one of us, how you ever felt like you had to prove yourself, prove that you were worthy, prove you were capable, prove you deserved your place. Um, Many people approach purpose that way, and they think they must earn it, achieve it, outwork everyone else for it. But something that we find in Scripture says something radically freeing. It is by grace you have been saved, and through faith, not by works. Purpose is not a performance review. It is a calling received by grace. Now, I will tell you that I watched the hockey games this past week, and uh, I enjoyed them. I'm glad that the USA won both gold medals in women's and men's. But the Canadians also won silver medals and had achieved at an extremely high level. And every one of those young men and women have their own story. And there were so many stories that we heard about in the Olympics, and I would encourage you to look at them and listen to them. I also had the opportunity last week to attend the state wrestling tournament here in Fargo, North Dakota. And I was absolutely amazed by it. In so many ways, I saw some performances that were absolutely outstanding for their athletic ability. And I saw some performance that were done with a great deal of courage. One young athlete from Bismarck wrestled essentially on one leg. And that's a big deal. Now, did that prove that he was worthy? Nope. Did it prove that he was capable? Well, I would say yes, in a lot of ways. I mean, he won a lot of matches that way. But ultimately, it is by grace that that performance happened. And the thing is that, we live in a performance-driven world. Grades, promotions, followers, titles, achievements. Somewhere along the way, we begin to believe if I perform well enough, then I'll be worthy. And sadly, some people can even carry that into their relationship with God. And they think, if I work harder, maybe God will use me. If I fix myself first, maybe I'll find my calling. If I become more impressive, maybe I'll deserve purpose. But I'll tell you this, grace dismantles that particular lie. In Ephesians, when it says, by grace you have been saved through faith, grace means unearned favor, undeserved kindness, unmerited calling. It's not something you qualify for. It is something you have to learn to accept. Your purpose is not a reward for perfection. It is a gift entrusted to you. Now, I'm going to talk about me just for a little bit here. And there were seasons in my life that when I thought I had to prove myself as a teacher, as a coach, as a leader, as a husband, even in starting the Becomers movement. But I've come to understand something deeply. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And, you know, I was fortunate, very, very fortunate to have many great mentors on that journey. And I have to admit that I do feel a degree of failure in about some things in my journey. But I can reflect on them. There's a time when you feel inadequate, and I felt inadequate. At times when grace carried me farther than effort could, even right now. And there's a moment when you realize calling comes before confidence. Purpose is not discovered by striving, it's discovered by surrender. You just have to give into it, and performance says, I'll work until I'm enough. Grace says, you already are. Each and every one of us are given a purpose. It's in us, it's in our DNA. I'll guarantee it. And we all have unique abilities that are unique to each of us, just you. Yes, in wrestling or in football or any athletic sport, you have people who can perform at very, very high levels. But on that journey to perform at that high level, they were given some grace because guess what? You don't just perform it in a great way all the time. You have it in you. It's already there. Now, when you understand grace, you stop comparing, you stop competing, you stop trying to prove, you start serving. And grace produces gratitude, and gratitude fuels passion. Now, here are the questions. Where are you trying to perform instead of receive? Where are you exhausting yourself trying to earn what has already been given? And what would change if you truly believed your calling was a gift? And that's a lesson. I could talk for hours about that. I knew when I was in 7th grade probably that I was going to be a teacher coach. And I discovered along my journey that I wasn't going to make as much money as the doctors or a whole lot of other people, but I was going to certainly teach a lot of people who became doctors and nurses and physical therapists and chiropractors and pharmacists and a whole other teachers. Hmm. And they would have an impact. You, do, you don't earn purpose, you receive it. And when you receive it with humility and gratitude, you walk in it with joy. Well, I hope each and every one of you have a great day. I would sure like you to download the worksheet and reflection sheet and look at that, join the movement, share the video. Those sorts of things are pretty important because I hope what I've told you is of value to you. And as I say every day, or every time I do one of these, go out and help somebody today. Raise them up, make their day better by what you do for them. And by making their day better, you may have made their life much better. And in doing that kind gesture, you've made your life better. And that is a big deal because you've made this world a better place by standing up for something good. Have a good one, everyone.